Evening, everyone. Good evening. Where we last left off, we have actually started traveling through the universe. Traveling through it to see where we're actually going and stuff like that. So... Imperium lore? You're really low in Imperium lore. Still have a bit of a cold. Are we going to roll with J Hedrin? Or... The first thing we're going to do today, I looked at like respecking and stuff like that. Yeah, no. First thing we're going to do is we're going to have a chat with Argenta.
Rogue trader.
You said you had a personal request for me.
I indeed have a request, Rogue trader.
The accursed servants of chaos who assaulted this ship took the lives of your loyal crew members. And they orphaned many children, including the progeny of the brave officers who defended their posts until the bitter end. I don't know what customary practices there are for cases like this in Von Valencia's territory, but in the world I'm familiar with, the children of such brave souls could expect to receive some special consideration. Perhaps the rogue trader could meet with the orphans.
Make the arrangement for a meeting worthy of a rogue trader. I will address the orphans with a speech. I will meet with them. No formalities needed. These are children, people who gave their lives for Von Valencius. My consideration is the least that they deserve. Yep.
I will pass on your instructions. Thank you for taking my request to heart.
Boop, boop, boop. Yep. Now finish up a bit of food, just sat down, and we're going to be playing this for a couple of hours, that's for sure. The fact that Abelard has...
The motley group of adolescents do not take their eyes off you, gazing at you as if you were a creature straight from a fairy tale.
Okay.
Our indefatigable sister has been keeping an eye on these pups.
Abelard glances at the gathered children.
It is hardly the Schola Progenium in here, but we have provided the orphans on our ship with adequate care and instruction.
Yep.
Argenta is standing to the side of the group. At your approach, she perks up and announces, her voice ringing.
Brave ones, the master of this ship has appeared before you, the one who guides it through the darkness of the universe by the Emperor's will. Greet your Lord Captain, the rogue trader of House Von Valencius.
Yep.
You notice Infernus Master Heinrich Montig standing a few paces away from the orphans. He watches you with approval and bows respectfully when you meet his gaze.
Grandly express. Smile at the group. Your Lord Captain greets you, brave ones.
The teenagers keep staring at you. A girl who has remained close to Argenta smiles uncertainly. A skinny pale lad tries to throw his shoulders back and stand at attention like a soldier. Only a few teenagers at the far end of the rail seem sullen and not particularly impressed. One of the scowling visitors with a thin scar across his face tosses his head back and says bitterly,
So what? Why should we care? Our friends and parents died in their dozens for you noble lot, and you just give us speeches.
Argenta quickly turns to the boy. A flurry of emotions flashes in her dark eyes, like she wants both to calm him and scold him for his impudence.
Punish the troublemaker. If you have things to say them without fear. I will listen.
The boy smiles grimly.
It doesn't matter what we say, it won't bring our parents back. And it won't change our fates either. We'll keep slaving away on this ship until we drop and die like our folks. Or worse.
Which one here?
1. I understand your grief and dismay. Your parents died. It's not an easy thing to go through. but they gave their lives for the truth, for the good of the whole ship, for the Imperium. Do not speak of their honorable fate with anger and disdain. 2. When the heretics who killed your parents attacked the ship, I was there. I took command, I fought, and I repelled the assault as quickly as I could. But no war can be won without losses. You can only strive to do what is within your power.
What?
3. The strong have the power to decide the fate of others, the weak either obey or die. If you seek a different lot in life, boy, save your grumbling and look for an opportunity to rise above the rest.
No, we're going with 2.
You heard the rogue traitor. Her words carry the wisdom of the Imperium.
It's hard to say whether or not your words have left an impression on the boy, but he nods slowly. Then he catches himself and gives you an awkward bow. Abelard gives a sign, and servants immediately emerge carrying packaged treats with von Valancius emblazoned on the wrappers. It appears that the seneschal came prepared for any contingency.
Of course.
Argenta rubs her temple pensively. She smiles and offers a few more words of encouragement, then leaves the bay.
Loop. Oh. That's just loop. A full 360 before anything else. Okay. Let's go down and talk to Agatha again.
Greetings.
Even in stillness, Sister Argenta radiates energy. With her dark eyes shining and a slight blush to her cheeks, she is reciting a prayer, and looks at you only once she has spoken the final line.
Octavia the Fire Axe, greetings.
I'm waiting for you to tell me about your past and to explain the strange words of the cultist on Footfall.
Yes, I'm ready. I would ask only one thing of you, Rogue Trader. If I may, I would like to see the chamber of the sacred warrant and kneel before the relic touched by the Emperor himself. A difficult conversation lies ahead of us, and I wish to pray by the relic before I lay my soul bare.
Of course, let's go right away.
Argenta nods gratefully.
This is a quest I don't remember doing at all, honestly. So I'm actually interested to see where this goes. To be fair, it's 160 hours for a full playthrough.
Argenta drops to her knees, her hands making the sign of the Aquila. Her eyes are locked on the sweeping signature on the warrant, a seemingly mundane thing, merely a flourish on a piece of paper. Unless one knows whose hand left that mark and whose blood is on that paper.
Continue.
If thou seest a flaw in me, smite me. If thou knowest a fall of mine, burn me. With flames of fury and righteousness. But if thou seest a light in me, grace me. If thou hearest this plea of mine, bless me. With wrath of fury and of righteousness.
Argenta's voice is sonorous, as if made for singing hymns and prayers, but right now she cannot seem to catch her breath, so overwhelmed with emotion is she.
For I breathe by the will of thine. For I live by the law of thine. I carry thy word, O Emperor. I bring solace to servants of thine. And ruin to foes of thine. A fate of terror and righteousness.
Upon finishing, she closes her eyes and remains silent for a long time with her head raised high. Slowly, like the first licks of flame in a campfire, a smile blossoms on her lips. When Argenta finally opens her eyes, they are alight with uncanny resolution.
Rogue traitor, we need to talk. Or rather, I need to tell you something. The truth. The truth about how I ended up on Theodora von Valancius' ship and about the cultists we encountered on Footfall.
I'm listening.
Please understand, I couldn't trust you before. I'll tell you my story, and you'll see why.
Argenta pauses.
I'll start at the beginning, it's easier to piece everything together that way. Upon arriving in the Expanse and on footfall, I found no purpose here, only torment. I wasn't needed, the reliquary I had been assigned to safeguard was already well protected by Reverend Hieronymus's mission. And no one was even trying to defile it, for all its lawlessness, footfall respects the worship of the Emperor. That was when Lady Theodora, head of your dynasty, appeared. She became an agent of divine will, in a way.
Argenta falters, searching for the words.
It was from her that I learned about a planet recently discovered by her scouts, Solus Prime. For a rogue trader, the planet was of little interest, a feral world away from convenient warp routes. But for me, learning about its existence was a revelation.
I've never even heard of such a planet. Does it belong to the Von Valencius dynasty?
Yes. Now the planet is yours by right. But it's not as simple as that, the warp route leading to it was lost. I will explain in due time. May
Please
I continue?
Yep.
The description of Solus Prime was familiar to me. It seemed very similar to a world from an ancient legend, the legend of Saint Argenta and her ship.
Her voice grows reverent.
Argenta, the living saint, she is my patroness, the order named me after her. She died millennia ago, when heretics caused her ship to fall from the skies.
Okay.
But even those blasphemers could not touch Argenta's ashes or her holy relic, the one star. For the fallen ship, which now served as the resting place for the saints' remains, would only allow the truly righteous to enter, all others would meet their death.
Okay.
Imagine what I felt when this flash of insight came upon me. The world where Saint Argenta's ship fell was merely a vague legend, no one knew its actual whereabouts. And suddenly, I, myself named after the saint, come across this information. I realized at that moment that it was a portent, that I must journey to the planet and find the ship. And so I asked Reverend Hieronymus to let me go for a time on a personal pilgrimage. I boarded Theodora's ship, and demanded passage to the newly discovered planet Solus Prime.
Why do you keep your suspicion from Reverend Hieronymus? Surely he could have helped you with the search for the ship and the saints' remains?
I couldn't just come out and tell him. It was a portent revealed to me personally, can't you see? I told Reverend Hieronymus the honest truth, that I was going on a personal pilgrimage to embolden my spirit. It really was a pilgrimage, it was as if Saint Argenta herself had shown me the way, commanding me to undertake this trial. If I had found the ship and set foot on its decks, if I had laid my hand on her remains and the relic, it would have been a sign that I truly had been blessed with the saint's favor.
If you were the only one who realized what you were dealing with once the planet, the secret was yours and no one else, the decision, searching for your destiny, for your place in the world, it's a special matter, a personal one. Yeah. That's on...
2. That's understandable. Searching for your destiny, for your place in the world, is a special matter, a personal one. You either succeed at it, or you don't.
Argenta looks at you, somewhat surprised.
I thought that I had been called, that finding the ship was my destiny, my place in the world. Perhaps there is something to that.
That's actually a good question. Okay, it's working. Okay. Imagine Theodora was thrilled with the prospect. You mentioned something, the one star. What is it?
Apologies, I got so carried away I forgot to explain. The one star is the relic kept by Saint Argenta. I belong to the Order Pronatus, and we attach particular significance to holy relics. The one star is one of the lost relics of the past, so mysterious that no one even knows what it is exactly. Argenta's hagiography at times calls it a banner, or a set of armor, or a blessed chain sword. One thing is certain, it was a beacon of righteousness, and it was lost with Argenta's death.
I imagine Theodora was thrilled with the prospect.
Lady Theodora lent her assistance. It was her intention to visit the newly discovered world, and she took me with her.
What happened next?
Defeat.
Argenta says bitterly.
The ship's augers failed to detect anything of note during orbital scanning. I was expecting this, though, according to the legend, the ship can conceal itself from the naked eye, and only a pilgrim guided by a pure heart can find it.
Okay.
What I didn't expect was an ambush waiting for us on the planet. I landed there with a small unit provided by Theodora. I know Saint Argenta's hagiography by heart, I know all the legends about her. I followed their obscure clues, the descriptions of mountains and rivers from millennia-old tales. And I was certain that I had found the way to the ship. And that's when we were attacked.
By whom?
The words we heard in the Heretic's shrine on footfall. Something about ways, doors, please address to some lord, the edge of daybreak.
Argenta is shaking with disgust.
They were the same words as those spoken by the cultists who attacked us on Solus Prime. My whole unit perished. All those honest, brave people I had led to search for the relic. It was only by a miracle that I didn't perish along with them. I didn't connect these events at first. The cultists on footfall. The cultists on Solus Prime. The cultists attacking the ship and Kunrad's betrayal. What if these are all links in the same chain? What if they've long since infiltrated the ranks of the Von Valencia servants? What if I led those heretics to the sacred planet with my search?
Sadly, the only one who might have the answers is Conrad. All the answers, Conrad escaped.
Oh yes, and I sincerely hope that we will meet him again. That serpent needs to answer a few questions, before he is plunged into cleansing flame.
So how did you manage to escape from the cultist? No need to blame yourself if the heretics really had wormed their way into Von Valencian by then. They would have found the planet even without you going there.
I doubt it. No one except me was particularly interested in the planet. Kunrad, on the other hand, he sympathized with me when I first came aboard, he helped arrange an audience with Theodora, and supported me in my effort to visit the planet. I never told him plainly why I wanted to go there, but I imagine that Vulture must have figured out that it was something important, something related to the holy faith of the Imperium. And what could delight a heretic more than defiling a relic?
So how did you manage to escape from the cultists?
Argenta hangs her head.
Theodora's people received the distress call, came to my rescue, and brought me aboard the ship. I barely remember what happened. When they arrived, I was already severely wounded, fighting back with whatever remained of my strength. I think I shouted that we had to go after them, but they didn't listen. They took me to the shuttle and pulled out. After that, it's all blackness. When I came to, we were already in the middle of a warp jump. Theodora had urgent matters to take care of, and she decided that she could clear out the planet at a later time.
And that's why you didn't trust me before, correct?
Yes, rogue traitor.
Argenta looks you in the eye.
I saw with my own eyes how a member of your family showed his true colors as a servant of the archenemy. I had already suffered a humiliating defeat at the hands of cultists and was afraid of another betrayal.
Oh, you
I
have
couldn't
no
be forthright
idea.
with you, and so I studied you, looking for seeds of corruption, or the light of righteousness.
And what did you find?
A woman who stood shoulder to shoulder with me and helped eradicate the cultists on footfall.
Argenta smiles, as if reminiscing about a pleasant evening spent in the company of friends rather than a bloody battle.
Although my opinion of you started to change even before then, back when you agreed to talk to the orphans at my request. A leader who's willing to honor those who laid down their lives for them, and take care of their children, is a leader who inspires trust. And do you remember?
Oh,
There was a young man whose grief and confusion had driven him to insolence.
yeah.
You found the words that could comfort him. You didn't punish him, didn't scare him with a show of austerity. You even admitted that you are not all-powerful. It surprised me. I even saw it as weakness at first. But after giving it some thought, I saw the wisdom in it. The way you openly address the thoughtless boy does you credit, rogue traitor.
So just to clarify, you were wounded and never found the Sense Argenta's ship, is that right?
Yes. I rushed to Theodora the moment I could walk again, and I insisted on going back to Solus Prime to defend the relic from the heretics. But I was told that the warp had destroyed the old route to the planet and that plotting a new one would take a great deal of time and effort. As if there could be anything more important than protecting the faith and hunting down servants of the archenemy. In any event, the route was lost, and all knowledge of it died in the attack on the ship along with the old navigator. But now we have a new lead, the data that we collected in the cultist shrine on footfall. I don't care what that reprobate we executed said, there must be a way to track them down. Tell me, rogue traitor, Will you help me in this undertaking? Will you help me find this great relic and return it to the people of the Imperium?
Searching for an ancient ship and relics is exciting prospect. Of course I'll help you.
Argenta walks up and places her hand on your shoulder.
So be it, rogue traitor. As I stand here before the warrant, the embodiment of the Emperor's will marked by his own hand, I vow that I will not relent until the holy relic has been returned and the heretics punished. And may the light be with us both on this path.
Yep. It seems we're doing a bit of quests right now. Doing quests today on the ship and stuff like that. And I want to do more. The thing is, I feel like one of the things I need to do to get this playthrough up and running, so we have the things we want to do, is just genuinely just grinding. And that's a thing I noticed. Okay, we actually leveled up from that. That is great. I have been looking if I should actually respec. Acute pain. Whenever an enemy suffers from a damage over time effect inflicted by the executioner for the first time increased by 100. If an enemy suffering from executioner's damage over time effects suffer from bleeding, burning, includes the effects inflicted by Pyromancer or Navigator, or Toxin includes the effect inflicted by Biomancer. At the same time, all of these damage over time deal 30% more damage to an enemy. Maximum number of wounds of the executioner but depends on their medicine instead of toughness. Start each round, all suffer from damage or inflicted by coming damage. Stack 20%. Is there anything that increases the level of damage over time? Merciless wounds. Merciless verdict. All damage over time inflict by executioner green. Critical hit chance, okay. Racking weakness, master of torture deals damage 5% for each. At the start of next turn, an enemy suffering from burning inflicted by must make a willpower. If it's failed, burning is removed and the enemy falls prone at the start of their next turn. We are a pyromancer. A lot of the things we do is burning. Executioner gains 8+ in Xenonor. Rivetin, Reckless Abandon, Gifted Torment. When pushing an enemy, the executioner also inflicts 4 levels of bleeding on an enemy. Whenever the executioner of their party members suffered any damage over time, deals only 50% damage. Stack multiplier by... I think the best one we can pick right now is the one with burning. Whenever an enemy in 4 cells of radius of the executioner suffers damage from damage over time. Okay. Where is the one with fire? Where is the one with fire? Fatigue. Really? No, I can't find it. Whenever Scourging Strike critical hits inflicts bleed. Effects inflicted by executioner. Whenever the enemy suffer from toxic inflicted by the executioner die, all enemies gain 3 level of toxin. While moving, all bleeding enemies leave a bloody trail on the ground, which moving through these bloodstains. Oh, that's actually really good. Really good. We want the fire one though. At the start of the turn, enemy suffering. Yeah, that's the one we're going with. These three we're having a wait with. Against all odds, begins combat with additional stacks of tactical advantage equals to enemies. Master attack deals 12% more damage. Nerves of Steel, Monster Tactician, or their ally, they gain 1 plus more whenever the Monster Tactician or their allies loses momentum. Grenades and cost 1 less action bar. Use minimum 0. Every critical hit scored by the monster. Here's the thing, like, I have no, like, build or stuff like that in my FOD. Strong Point also grants half of the amount of temporary wounds to allies closest to the target. I think the best to go with is against all odds, because we want to stack up our tactical advantage, the first thing we do. That's actually a good question. How is your parry? Your dodge is 60 and your parry is 90. Dueling Mastery, that's going to put that up to 85 parry. That's really good. Rounded up. That is the thing I'm contemplating right now, because you keep dying. You keep dying a lot of the time. But you're also the person I keep throwing into the middle of the fight continuously. We have the dodge chance. Do we have anything up here that is... Whenever an assassin attacks an enemy that at full health, the assassin gains 20% dodge and dodge reduction against the enemy until the end of the assassin. Whenever the assassin attacks an enemy with a single attack, this attack reduces target's armor. If the enemy suffer a critical hit from one of the assassin's allies at the start of the assassin's turn, new openings are created on enemy, whichever closest to the... Assassins gain chance... Assassins gain plus lethality percentage, chance to deal 5% of target's max wounds, more damage when hitting an opening. That's really good. Every turn the first used assassin's ability costs 0. That's really good as well. We're going with that. Pascal, my dude, what do we have for you? Just on frontline, I am... exploit on all affected. Yep, don't mind if I do. Argenta, what do we have for you? Arch Militant begins combat with 2 stacks of versatility. That's really good. Whenever entering combat, the Arch Militant 10 weapons cool 6 ballistic. Arch Militant's attacks have their armor reduced. Arms Master Awaiting order. First single target ability used by an ally on the Archmilitant. Close quarter training. Can use 200. Okay. Crawl. Any ranged area burst. Attacks Archmilitant. Reduce the weapon skill. Enemies hit by 10. Does not stack. Discipline. Heavy Gunner, Archmilitant's heavy weapon costs -1. Yes. Abelard, my old friend, what are you doing? While Vanguard has at least 1 temporary health, gain 11 parry and yeah, that's just a no-brainer. Okay. Now the big question is this. We have a lot of things we can do right now. You know what? I want to see... It's hinted heavily at the fact that we can go to other compartments now. Oh. Freight line. Void Ship Shrine. Freight line. Okay. This is new content. This is 100% new content. This was not in the game before. So this is new stuff for me. So I'm actually interested. The art looks really cool as well. The art here. Freight line.
A void ship is like a city unto itself, inhabited by thousands of people, most of whom are disenfranchised rabble providing an easily replaceable workforce. The common folk's only mission in life is to toil away in the name of the flagship's insatiable demands.
Yep.
A sturdily built man with an augmented jaw stands at attention. The dark circles under his eyes speak to many sleepless nights, but his voice is loud and spirited.
Welcome to Freight Hub LD 987/A14, Lord Captain. I am Edic Frenzo, Captain of the Enforcers in Lower Deck Bay LD A14. The Master at Arms has assigned me to be your liaison for the duration of your stay here.
Okay.
Lord Captain, would you like to inspect the control room or to begin your search for the Temple of the Bloodspun Web?
He says the last part with obvious concern.
It seemed you were prepared for my visit. How does Sourback know I was coming now?
The Master at Arms ordered us to be on standby after the Bloodspun Web openly invited you to visit their temple. We have been awaiting your arrival every day since then, Lord Captain.
Do you know how to reach the Temple of the Bloodspun Web?
I'm sorry, Lord Captain, I do not. No one knows. The cultists are too adept at hiding and keeping their secrets. And it worries me that you might have to walk around the entire compartment looking for the temple.
Why are you worried? Is there a problem with this compartment?
The lower decks are not suitable for someone of your status. And it's not just the grime or the crowds of brutish laborers. I suspect that the entrance to the Temple of Death is hidden in some dark corner where you might encounter criminals or contagious outcasts.
Oh, we're in
With
for
the
a
kind
fight.
of riffraff that dwells there, you might even be attacked.
Cassia shivers.
Such ghastly places you describe. We are not headed there, are we, Lord Captain?
He frowns.
To put it bluntly, although the Bay performs its functions well, even its more civilized sections are sorely lacking in discipline. I was only assigned recently, so I haven't had time to straighten everything up, since doing so will require making some serious changes. I am not inventing excuses, Lord Captain. As the officer in charge, I accept full responsibility for what takes place in this compartment.
Being assigned here almost seems like an exile. Did you commit an infraction?
Frenzo shakes his head fiercely.
No, Lord Captain, quite the opposite. I was commended for my service. This compartment has always been a troublesome one, and the Master at Arms assigned me here because she thought highly of my merits. I am honored to have earned Mistress Sourback's trust.
What do the lower deck officers think of Yocasta Sourback?
Mistress Sourback possesses all the personal and professional qualities required to lead the enforcers efficiently, Lord Captain.
He enunciates each word with pride, but you note drops of sweat on his brow.
It's between these two, I think.
2. Rejoice, Frenso, for the Lord Captain herself has deigned to deal with your problems. Rest assured, I will provide you some crucial guidance once I am done inspecting the bay.
Yeah, that sounds bad.
But,
Frenso stops himself mid-protest and assumes a more compliant tone.
in that case, I urge you to remain vigilant. The freight trains move at great speeds, and the inhabitants of the residential units are despicable rabble. One must never drop one's guard around them. An emperor preserve you from stumbling into the pestilence pit, that's where the madmen and the lepers live.
Tell me about this station.
Hub LD 987/A14 connects the lower decks freight, residential, and artillery bays. Our task is to monitor the flow of the labor force and prevent supply disruption between bays.
Who maintains this hub?
Traffic controllers. They're technomads trained by priests of the machine cult to keep the sacred cogitators in working order and prevent train collisions. The consequences of an accident like that would be easy to imagine, especially if one of the trains were carrying macro cannon ordnance.
Yep.
Also employed here are an enforcer squad, a team of inferni, the clerks who keep cargo records, and a medici officer. A fine chap whose medicine of choice is a bullet, may the God Emperor forgive him.
Oh, yeah. Not even every warship can boast of its own railway.
That is true. Usually higher class ships are the ones that get trains, but it's far from the greatest thing a rogue trader's warrant can see done. The credit here goes to Lady Theodora's predecessor, on whose orders the Adeptus Mechanicus assisted in birthing this miracle of sacred engineering from the womb of the dynasty's flagship.
What's the situation on the lower decks?
Most of the locals unload trains and sort provisions. We give maintenance jobs to the more capable ones. The rest, our reserve workforce. Whenever crew are lost on a deck, we find replacements from among those rats. And if extra hands are needed anywhere else, there are always more than enough volunteers eager to work for rations. They even queue for jobs.
The rabble cause you no problem, I hope?
Surely you are joking, Lord Captain. The rabble are base in nature, and mutiny is always on their minds. They steal whatever they can get their hands on, and lately they've moved from rations and tinned food to weapons. We
That's not good.
confiscate these regularly, of course, and keep the serfs meek and terrified. That's the only way we can protect the mindless herd from themselves.
Okay.
Oh, another thing the bastards do on a regular basis is build their shacks in front of service tunnel entrances. That has delayed the arrival of Infernus brigades during several emergencies, and caused air and power supply problems in adjacent bays. We burn those saboteurs along with their shacks, but they just keep pressing on regardless.
Mutinous rabble? How paranoid of you.
To the best of my knowledge, being paranoid is practically a requirement in our line of work. In any case, the rabble are always plotting. Take my word for it.
Okay, I've heard enough.
Always at your service, Lord Captain.
The cult of the Bloodspun Web has a presence in this compartment, does it not?
That is correct. The enforcers do not bar them from carrying out their sacred duties.
He scowls.
As irregular as it is to have armed crew members set up a secret hideout forbidden to the enforcers, and that they can go around dispensing bloody justice.
What do you know about the death cultists?
Not much, but I'm always trying to learn more, given that they like to pay visits to my compartment.
Frenso scratches his head, thinking.
The spinners honor the Emperor through death, they kill notorious reprobates and heretics. Sometimes they kill righteous folk, and other times even seemingly at random. Their rituals are morbid and their prayers are strange. Anyone not initiated in their rites would struggle to make any sense of them.
Do you not take issue with death cultists killing people in your territory?
Frenso avoids looking at Kibella.
I do, Lord Captain. But the cult is authorized to exist on the ship, which means their activities down here are not to be interfered with.
I see.
The captain grumbles sullenly under his breath.
Be steadfast in your duty, Captain.
The Emperor protects, Lord Captain.
Okay. Let's see what we have here.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
The servo overseer makes a note of everyone who passes by its station. Every time.
Yes, your ladyship.
The technomats are performing a sensing rite on the sacred power transformer, but the machine spirits are running rampant and will not be swayed.
Blood can't be. We scrub the deck 3 times right before the rogue trader comes. Void take me, the captain will be head. We'll have our heads.
Is this the welcome you give the rogue trader?
Abelard's nostrils flare in anger.
Whoever had the audacity to leave behind this appalling symbol, I will see to it that the Master-at-Arms calls them to account herself.
The corner of the captain's mouth twitches nervously as he mutters.
Damn those. How did they even?
Examine the mark.
You have seen this sort of symbol before. Death cultists carve bleeding marks like this into their own skin. Kibella carves the same symbol on the back of her hand with a knife and whispers a prayer.
Damin Octavia the Fire Axe, remember this sign. It is the beginning of your quest, the first blood trail.
Do you know what this mark is?
It resembles one of the symbols associated with the blood-spun web. What was it called again? The Song of Trailing Blood, I think. It's a prayer familiar to many in this compartment. We've heard spinners say it when they, well, perform their signature acts of service to the Emperor.
Frenzo takes a deep breath.
The soundless shadow sank into the dark. Slashed feet crescendo, a fatal dance. Blade song in tempo, each edge an echo. Twin odes to death throes. Now on her sacred blood. As she once trod the backs of foes. Tread countless souls, but none who know.
Why would we leave this mark here?
Maybe it has something to do with them inviting you to visit their temple. Maybe they're trying to get your attention? Apologies, Lord Captain, I'm no good at deciphering their disturbing riddles.
You mentioned the verse, why?
When I took up my post here, I made sure to familiarize myself with all the particular qualities of this compartment. I soon heard about the verse and decided to investigate. I questioned a number of people who follow the bloodspun web as I was trying to figure out if there was anything pernicious about it, and eventually I learned the whole thing.
He frowns.
The words are certainly strange, but it's nothing worse than that, it seems.
What is the Song of Trailing? Oh,
Yes,
for fuck's sake.
Lord Captain.
Frenzo signals to his subordinates, and the enforcers hurry to carry out your will. Hate it. I'm still not used to the new mouse I have, and the sensitivity might be a bit too high, but that is just really annoying. No, we want to do the quest, and we want to do it there. I don't really have anything against reloading when it's just like me being a dumbass and clicking the wrong thing. We went to the freight. That was the crew we went with. That's the exact same text on it. Come on. The one thing I will say is I loaded up one of my old saves, my complete save, not before, a fair bit before the last act, and just looked at the amount of stuff that has been added that I did not acquire in that playthrough was insane. So they've added a fair amount of stuff, and we are just going to do this. A sturdily built
Lord Captain, would you like to inspect the control room or?
The
The Master-at-Arms ordered us to be on standby after the bloodspun web openly invited you to visit their temple. I'm sorry, Lord Captain, I do not. The lower deck.
Cassia shivers. He frowns.
To put it bluntly, although the bay performs its functions well, even its more
Frenzo shakes his head fiercely.
Mistress Sourback possesses all the personal and professional qualities required to lead the enforcers efficiently, Lord Captain.
He enunciates.
But
Frenzo stops himself mid-protest and assumes a more compliant tone.
In that case, I urge you to remain vigilant. The freight trains move at great speeds, and the inhabitants of the residential units are. That is correct. The enforcers, do not bar them from carrying out. Not much.
Frenzo avoids looking at Kibella.
I do.
The captain grumbles.
Hub LD9. Traffic controllers. Also employ.
We're just
Most
going
of the-
through this
That is true.
quickly.
Surely you are joking. Oh, another thing the bastards. To the best of my knowledge, being paranoid is practically a requirement in our line of work.
I've learned enough.
Always at your service. The Emperor protects, Lord Captain.
Okay. And we are just going to do that. What the fuck happened? You fucking with me? You're fucking with me? You're absolutely fucking with me. Why is there a keybind for that? Why is there a keybind for that? Why is there a fucking keybind for that? I was trying to do a quick save, I did a quick load, and that put us back in Act 1 on the prison planet. Because... fuck me, I guess. That's probably the best way of putting it. Sorry for the technical difficulties, we will soon arrive at the place we were meant to be. Okay, go there, we're going to freight line, we're taking that crew.
A void ship is like a city unto itself, inhabited by a void ship is like a city unto itself, inhabited by thousands of people, most of whom are disenfranchised rabble providing an easily replaceable workforce. The common folk's only mission in life is to toil away in the name of the flagship's insatiable demands. A stirred.
Lord Captain, would the master at? I'm sorry. The lower decks.
Cassia shivers. He frowns.
To put it bluntly, although the bay performs its functions well, even its more.
Did you
Frenzo shakes his.
Mistress Sourback possesses all the personal and professional qualities required to lead the enforcers efficiently.
We're going that
But
route. Tell me about the station.
Hub LD9. Traffic
Contains the hub.
That is true. Most of the. Surely you are joking. Oh, another thing. To the best of my.
Learned
always
enough.
at your service.
What do you say
That is
about
correct.
that?
The enforcers.
What do
do
you
not
know
bar-
about the Duff
Not much,
cultists?
but I'm always trying to learn more, given that they
You
like to
know-
pay visits to.
Frenzo avoids.
I
The
see.
captain grumbles sullen.
Study
The Emperor
and
protects,
dialogue.
Lord Captain.
Okay, and we are just going to save here before anything else. Yep, we're just going to save that. Okay, great. Game saved. That means we don't need to reload way back anymore. You have goods there. Don't mind if I do. Anything here? No, not really. To skip this.
Is this the welcome you give the?
Yeah.
The corner of the captain's mouth twitches nervously as he mutters.
Damn those! How did they even?
Awareness.
You have
Continue.
Kibella carves the same symbol on the back of her hand with a knife and whispers a
Explain
prayer.
yourself.
Lord Cap. It resembles.
Frenzo takes a deep breath.
The soundless shadow sank into the dark. Slashed feet crescendo, a fatal dance.
Why would
Maybe
you
it
do
has something
that?
to do with them inviting you to visit. When I took up my post here. From what I can tell, it's something like a prayer with several verses that tell about the life of one of the cult's saints. Ariane, or the matriarch spider, as they call her.
So I'm invited to follow the blood trail. It seems I accepted the spinner's invitation.
I hope you find what you are looking for and return to the upper decks safely, Lord Captain.
Okay.
There will be no peace.
You think you can
in
make
my
out letters
wake.
woven into the intricate symbol. And though the meaning of each individual letter eludes you, together they unmistakably form an arrow pointing in a certain direction. The rotting guts of someone unfortunate enough to be flattened by a train like glistening on the track.
This is the last hub vials this cycle to name the idea how much it costs. Anything more than the baton, the whip is not too good for void dogs. The baton, for fuck's sake, spent the rest of the rug again, I'm guessing, so I'm doing you any favors, give up the drink or get used to life in Pestilence Pit. Okay.
The bulky doors lead to the Enforcer's living quarters and the hub's provision depots.
They will see. Oh yes, they all will.
We're going down here then, I guess. There's a door. It's goods in it as well.
The longer you stare at the mark, the quieter the sounds of the station become. The shadows grow longer and seem to stretch in the direction of the adjacent section.
Okay, so I want to go over here. Athletics, come on.
I
A
do
soldier
what
would
I
have been
must.
disciplined for such a performance.
What do we have in here?
Patience.
Look no
My nerves
further.
are frayed.
We have stack of ration cards. You can barely make it out. Scribbles past the marketplace. Info?
You can barely make out the crudely scribbled words on the burned note. Then past the market. Ke sure the N4. Tu or Yul Rui. Entire operation. On the tracks, B. LL find. S a little gift for. Give it to him and you'll see for yourself.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
Okay. How are we up here? Beggars, flute player.
This ocular implant was a worthwhile investment.
What is it here? More cargo stuff.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
The hapless vendor has rusty
Haven't I
junk on his
studied hard
counter and
enough?
no customers at all. He peers hopefully into the faces of passers-by.
Okay. Hawker? Okay.
In this tapestry
I
of a
see what
world,
others do not.
I am the rogue thread.
Goods. Okay. More rations. Okay. How many times do I need to tell you, you ungrateful man? Mistakes must be paid for. Mercy. In the throne name, I beg you.
The battered worker throws himself at your feet and touches the toe of your boot with his dirty palms.
Your gracious ladyship. Hand of the God Emperor. Save your unworthy servant. Get lost.
The Enforcer's heavy baton pummels the man's back and shoulders several times. His bones crack audibly.
My sincerest apologies, Lord Captain. Your boot. I'll clean it right away.
A murmur of discontent breaks out among the gawkers who have gathered around. None of the other workers dare come closer, but the anger on their faces is plain to see.
I have no time for this. Are we doing anything? Out of my way. Blasted filth. Yep.
With a crunch, your boot breaks the bridge of the unfortunate man's nose.
I be sorry, please, I be sorry. It hurts so book.
Low, insistent dissent begins to rise in the crowd, only to die back down as soon as the enforcers brandish their batons. A sullen, red-bearded man with keen black eyes draws your attention. His oddly piercing gaze seemed to size you up the whole time you were speaking, but now he has hastened to conceal himself behind the gawkers. The enforcer hisses at the worker vindictively.
Oh yes, 12. This time I'm gonna break 13 of your fingers and ribs, as a lesson to your slimy accomplices.
Yes, we have someone we should follow.
One step at a time, amidst the madness.
During each shift, railway hubs direct thousands of containers carrying the rogue traders' cargo to various destination compartments.
Lord
Shame
Captain,
and
this container
dishonor.
weighs as much as a whole train. Perhaps you'd like to use the cargo crane.
Despite your efforts, the container does not budge an inch. But you heard an unpleasant crunch in your lower back.
They will see. Oh, yes, they all will see.
Lower decker.
Sure, you can have it if you need it so badly.
Glory to the Lord Captain. Oh my god. They're stabbing each other with knives. Nothing is happening. Okay. The foreman. That's the guy who walked away.
Ooh, how intriguing.
What was that? I think this is something we should actually be...
Patience. Oh, my nerves are frayed.
We should deal with this.
I better myself through my service.
Give your gift to the one who sees nothing but hears everything. The truth will be revealed to you.
Lord Captain, this is where the sick and the broken are herded to die of their various diseases. Don't touch anything.
Stop being so bloody difficult. What's the thing the deaf cultists say? Your time has come, or what? No, what? Talk about being everywhere at once now. We take his stuff to the marketplace and we'll eat soup tonight.
Curiosity sings in my
Lord
veins.
Captain, this is where the sick and the broken are herded to die of their various diseases. Don't touch anything.
A figure indicating tatters is rocking to and fro, muttering indistinctly in several different voices, occasionally breaking into hoarse laughter. As you come closer, she freezes and turns slowly to look at you. An ugly, rusted mask covers her face.
Are you here to take Zidna to the other side? You're just wandering around in the dark, looking for the light, but it's nowhere to be found. Do you really not see it?
Who are you?
Old Zidna. Zidna the outcast. Zidna the mad. Zidna the disaster. Zidna the curse. Zidna the spurned.
The woman hugs her arms to her chest and starts cackling loudly. Broken chains clink at her emaciated wrists and neck.
A ghost of the past? A shadow of the present? Only the Undying One knows. He alone.
What is this repulsive place? Do you live here?
The woman scratches her neck nervously. You note her deformed fingers, ravaged by some unknown disease.
Here, where the unfortunate meet their undeath. Here, a dumping ground for the bodies of those the Undying One rejects. Here, where pestilence dwells. Zidna welcomes them all. Talks to their ghosts. Here, where Zidna lives. Yes. That sounds right.
You talk to ghosts.
You can't hear them.
Zdena points somewhere off to the side, laughs, then stops herself sharply.
They don't like it when people come here.
Lord Captain, this woman is clearly ill in both spirit and body. Best to leave her be.
Her colors are all mixed, smudged, poised to reveal a pure shade of madness, and yet, scarlet threads separate these trembling patches, preventing her from losing herself.
The woman turns away and starts talking to someone only her eyes can see.
In this tapestry of a world,
Lord Captain, this is where the sick and the broken are herded to die of their various diseases. Don't touch anything.
Attention to detail is the key to success.
See? Right there. Duty prevails. Never doubt me. I better myself through my service.
Unlocked.
Worn by death cultist assassin, whenever they kills an enemy, that enemy explodes in the fountain of blood. Creates a nearby covered info. Blood view? Okay. If worn by death cultists, whenever the wearer attacks a stacked blood blessed, they gain 10 toughness for 2 rounds. Collect all. That is actually gear for you. Toughness, agility, athletics. Where do we have them? There we have them. I am just running around looting currently. There's a ton of it. Get down here as well.
One step at a time, amidst the madness.
And something up here. Okay.
Unexpected result.
Shall not define me.
Okay.
There will be no peace in my way.
That points that way.
The workers, beaten to within an inch of their lives, are returning stolen power panels, wire, and micro-lumens to containers marked disposal.
That's 80% chance, not...
Unlocked.
Yeah, I need to actually level up to get here.
The Infernus Master salutes you cheerfully with his Alho stick.
Lord Captain, what an unexpected encounter. What brings you to this compartment? The famous cuisine and magnificent vistas, no doubt?
I seek the Bloodspun Web Temple. Do you know where they're hiding?
I don't have the foggiest idea, and that's probably for the best. I have my hands full as it is.
What are you doing here?
I'm here to patch up Savage, locomotive number 3. This squabbler is my personal favorite on the entire freight line. Every couple of years, Savage gets mad, his boiler catches fire and starts spitting steam at the repairmen. Guess who they call to take care of him in these situations? The Inferni, of course. But that's all right. I love Savage. When he's in a good mood, the feeling of standing at his levers and speeding down the freight line is indescribable. The roar of the boiler, the wheels thumping like mad, and all that furious power pulsing in your hands, responding to the slightest movement. How about?
There is a mischievous spark in Heinrich's eyes.
I introduce you.
Can't turn down an offer like that.
The panel before you is covered with technical runes, lumens, and levers. The platform shakes with the boiler's mighty vibration as the iron beast beneath your feet growls and snorts ferociously. The panel before you is covered with technical runes. Heinrich squints contentedly and whispers the litany of ignition before turning to you.
The black-hearted fiend is angry and refuses to obey. Right now, Savage is powered only by the auxiliary maneuvering engine. We will need to start the main rotor if we want to take a trip down the freight line. Initiating the train blessing algorithm, let not corrosive wear separate the wheel sets. Let the traction drive receive the touch of the motive force granted by the invisible hand of the Omnissiah. Let his grace strengthen the joints and supports that lift the body above the decay of mortal tracks. Hear me, driver, and praise the machine god thrice, for it is only by his will that the miracle of sacred locomotion is accomplished. The blessing has been successfully executed.
Listen to the rumble noise coming from the boiler.
The stubborn machine does indeed seem remarkably similar to a wild beast. The roar of the mechanism resembles hoarse growling, and the scarlet glow of the lumens on the control panel makes you think of the malicious glare of a predator. The spirit of this machine is vicious, but strong and lively.
What should I do?
Put your hand on the big lever and gently give it a pull. Very gently.
Heinrich's face is focused, but his voice has not lost any of its playful cheer.
Savage does not like being hassled.
Grab the lever and gently pull towards you.
A few erratic jolts shake the platform, and an indignant groan emanates from the depths of the machine. An intense shudder passes through the lever and into the palm of your hand, and there is a strange feeling of emptiness in your stomach.
Do you feel it? There is so much energy and defiance in him. This is a rocket, not a locomotive, unruly and enamored with speed, but quite willing to submit to a strong hand.
There is almost a loving tenderness in Heinrich's voice.
Pull the lever toward you, smoothly but firmly. Then, pump the fuel with this command rune.
Okay, so smile at
1. Smile at Heinrich, unruly and defiant, but submits to a strong hand. Much like yourself.
A roguish gleam appears in his eyes.
You don't say?
pull the lever and pump the fuel.
A new explosion inside Savage shakes his iron body, causing your eyes to see double from the vibration.
Now you are feeling his real power. He can run down the entire freight line in a minute, given the chance, and kill everyone who rides him at that speed. Now, try applying some thrust to the main rotor, grab those paired levers and give them a firm tug.
Reach the ornately carved levers and awaken the beast.
A torrent of steam bursts from the slit in front of your face, but Heinrich deftly covers you with his shoulder. A moment later, you realize that you cannot hear a thing. Or rather, you hear only one thing, a dragon's roar, triumphant and powerful.
Savage has awoken and appears to have agreed not to kill us both. All hail the Lord Captain. You have subdued a mighty beast today. Now, I'm sure you have urgent business to attend to, and it's time for me to drive Savage down the line and see if he is feeling cranky.
That was most intriguing, Heinrich. I'm pleased.
Heinrich lowers his eyes and grins.
Could I have wished for anything more, your ladyship?
Have a good change of plans. Full speed ahead. We're heading down the freight line.
Not quite, your ladyship. I said Savage is not dangerous, but not dangerous ends right here. He might just pull a stunt and bake us to death during the ride, and it would be better if the ship did not lose another Lord Captain.
Have a good trip.
Everything is going to be alright. Savage would never fry me, right, Savage?
The time-worn loader is barely fit for purpose at this point, but the Enforcers still see its complex maintenance as the lesser evil compared to hiring ignorant, clumsy scroungers to do the job.
I'm a bit salty that I've failed that Lepic test here. I don't know if I can redo it either. I don't think so. Which is annoying.
Patience? My nerves are frayed. Oh, what is that?
Oh? Don't mind if I do. More ration slips.
Sins hidden in the heart turn all to decay.
Skal open.
Unlocked.
Successful.
Several people are eagerly rummaging through a rack filled with weapons from the Enforcer's arsenal. A big man with a pock-marked face is the first to react to your presence. He attracts the others' attention with a piercing whistle and barks out.
Who are you? There's not supposed to be anyone it doesn't matter. Identify yourself.
Take a closer look at the suspicious individual.
Makeshift armor peeks out from beneath their ragged clothes, and their battered weapons display a patchwork of crude repairs. The group stares longingly at the rack where the good class steel gleams, restlessly clutching their humble weapons. You notice that the little finger on every person's right hand has been cut off. It is hardly a coincidence.
Who I am doesn't matter. What are you doing here?
The leader looks at your gear appraisingly and frowns.
It matters. You better answer, or this conversation won't last long at all.
I am Rogue Trader Octavia the Fire Axe von Valencius, and you will explain what's going on here.
The people turn to stare at you in disbelief and exchange heated whispers. The excitement is interrupted by the leader's roar.
What are you gawping at? Hurry up and bend your backs as is right and proper. Your ladyship, you must excuse these blockheads. I was taken aback myself. It's not every day you see the rogue trader in the flesh. And as for this,
The man casts a grim glance at the rack.
I won't insult you by denying it. You've caught us red-handed.
Who are you?
The Hard Nines, a gang. I mean, a brotherhood from Transport Bay 9. Don't think we're parasites. We do our bit for the prosperity of the ship. We're sort of, assistants to the enforcers. Self-appointed. We make sure that order is maintained in compartments where the enforcers are too lazy or greedy for bribes. We put a stop to robbery and free thinking, and well, we accept a small contribution as a show of thanks.
Why do you want my weapons? Are you going to rebel?
To do business.
The gang leader smiles ingratiatingly.
We're no rebels. If anyone blasphemes against your ladyship, we call the troublemakers to order. And we shed blood for the flagship without fear. I suppose that makes us defenders of the ship?
The thug raises his eyebrows questioningly and looks at you expectantly.
You obviously did not expect anyone here. Are the enforcers providing cover for you?
I wish. Frenzo, the newly appointed captain, had our informant strung up. He's tightening the screws, damn it, we can barely breathe. Today's the last time we'll come to pick over this compartment.
You all have your little finger cut off. What does it mean?
It's our gang's initiation rite, a fine tradition. By voluntarily removing a finger, the newcomer shows their determination and willingness to join us forever. It's also a badge of honor.
He proudly shows off the stump of his little finger.
Are we going to kill them? Are we tell me why I shouldn't execute you on the spot.
ERM, you could execute us, but who would take our place? Shameless scum who rob and kill to their heart's content. Bastards who accept mutants into their gangs and pray to the archenemy. There have always been outlaws on this ship. You're better off with outlaws like us, who don't go too far and who keep the heretics down.
I suppose you may have some use. I shall permit you to take a few weapons, of more basic weapons, and leave. Serve the ship well.
The seneschal grits his teeth, impotent in the face of your choice.
One day I will realize the depth and wisdom of your decisions, Lord Captain, but, in the meantime, I will pray that this act does not come back to haunt you. Hear that, boys? The Lord Captain herself is expecting good things from us. We can't let her down.
His cronies make sounds of approval.
We will fulfill your command to the letter.
Okay.
What
Let's see
lies
if there's anything
beyond?
down here. Not really. Anything up here?
Unlocked.
Success is an irrefutable certainty.
What do we have here? That's the Ripper. Yes, normal last guns. Okay. I'm a bit miffed off, honestly, about the fact that we missed out on the thing down here.
In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue threat.
During each shift, railway hubs direct thousands of containers carrying the rogue traders' cargo to various destination compartments.
Okay. We are heading back up for now. Because it comes down to this. The biggest thing is, I think it has to do with her. A lot of the stuff we get here is going to be fantastic for her. But it also is for the small matter of, I think we're a bit
One
under-leveled
step at
for
a
this right now.
time, amidst the madness.
Just genuinely, I think we're a bit too low level to actually make use of this area to its fullest. Because usually all checks are really easy. Maybe it's me who likes being over leveled when doing stuff. But it's something to take into account, in my opinion, because it's not like, oh, we have a 10% chance of actually succeeding. It's, or 10% chance of failing. We have, it's 50-50, and I don't like those odds. So athletics is something we need to level, and we just need to level more. And for that, we're going to make use out of the star map to actually move across and do a ton of the events and stuff like that that is going on the what is this? Source, characters, dodge hit. A strange rash has appeared on your skin. Venture into the transport tram. Most likely another trophy you have to claim from an unpleasant place. Perform. Okay. What the fuck is going on? Why is there so many people dealing with me here?
The soothing water caresses your senses, and your grateful muscles welcome the chance to rest. A pleasant languor spreads through your body as you allow yourself a moment of quiet relaxation.
Relax and close your eyes.
The tension slowly retreats as you bring yourself to complete stillness. Joint by joint, muscle by muscle, pore by pore. Before long, you have surrendered the bastion of your body to the bliss of oblivion. troubles, worries, loss, such things do not belong in this newly established dominion of tranquility. There are only the infinite waters of weightlessness, in which, stripped of all things superficial, the mind of Octavia the Fire Axe von Valancius drifts in silent bliss. It is a conscious mind. What fills this consciousness?
The thought about the price paid for power, the inconstant path through which such power is obtained, and the people and things she will sacrifice for the sake of her supremacy.
The cost of power is great. But when it comes to accomplishing one's dreams, no price is too high. This moment of serenity soon fades. The body reclaims the mind, binding it once more to the familiar shell of flesh, sinew, and bone.
Finish the ablation.
You feel revitalized. This was truly an experience worthy of a rogue trader.
I took a bath. I took a fucking bath.
Beyond the glass, the distant stars glimmer in the darkness of endless space, filling you with an odd sense of dread.
Oh, I actually get a buff to my initiative in next fight. Okay. What do we have in the vault? Nothing. Link your account? Did not know you can link your account with Twitch. Is there Twitch integration? Seriously? Is there actually Twitch integration? No, don't think so. So we are going at it now in a different manner. We are going to drifting void ship. I don't remember, honestly. We're going with this. If it's the one I think it is, we're going to call back, because this is a thing that I made a mistake of on my first playthrough.
Dark and malign forces lurk beneath the fabric of the physical universe. The warp, a source of all psychic powers, is home to the forces of chaos, a malevolent and turbulent...
We're not going to do that, for one simple reason. That is rough. To say it really nicely, it's rough in the beginning. And we don't really know what kind of builds we have. We don't really have an idea of that. So we are going to warp travel over here. One of the reasons I'm not going to use that many of my void points is for the simple reason... It's for a really simple reason. I want to have random encounters, because then I get more loot.
A natural accumulation of irregularities on a solid planetary surface has been detected. Probability of occurrence of natural materials, high.
Okay, we are going in for a fight, I presume. I think it's against Eldari, or it could be against the Dark Eldar. I don't know. We're going in for a fight anyway.
This inky
Yep.
abyss
Eldari,
will
Shadow
witness
Hunters.
our victory.
Okay. That is a good thing to actually put in mind. We are going to move here. We're going to fire on you. That missed. Okay, fair enough. We're going to drop the torpedoes. Going to move in here. Seriously?
You commence the symphony of macro cannons. Let the macro cannons sing their twisted song. The destination is no.
Okay, move forward. And fire up on them from behind. 10 damage. Okay. We need to gear up our ship a ton more. That's for sure. We can probably hit that one enough this turn if it doesn't do the rearmoring. Okay, so we're going to move forward here. We're going to drop torpedoes. Move up here. Can only hit the torpedoes. Can only hit that one as well.
The symphony of macro cannons.
Okay. Okay. Ooh. 7 only there, and going to move up here.
Let the macro cannons sing their twisted song.
Torpedoes, we can shoot on them as well.
Macro cannon barrage.
Then we'll reload our walls. Okay. Don't tell me. I remember one bug that was so annoying when it came to this game early on. I don't know what it was with that bug, but that bug made me angry. That bug literally made... Oh, for fuck's sake.
Unleash fury.
The bug made it so that you could... They started to just flee. The enemy just started fleeing continuously, and it was just immensely annoying when that happened. Okay, let's start with that one. That's not going to... No, it's just going to push it a bit forward. Okay, fair enough. We are going to lay here. Now we need to lay there to actually have a firing solution on him. Yep.
Flight Master, if you please.
Hey, why is it Eldari? Screw Eldari.
Commence the symphony of macro cannons.
Well, he's actually taking damage, so that's good. Okay, and we got shot in the front. And goodbye.
The destination is known.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're ranked up with a ship. That's going to be good for us overall. A higher ranking ship is better overall. Okay. That one is just solid one. And that one is just a really solid one as well. Here is when it actually starts being really good. The expedited rounds and stuff like that. We don't really have anything new, do we? Begin scan. Monastery of Order of the Hammer. Okay.
Lord Captain, we have received a transmission from Foulstone. It was sent by members of the Order of the Hammer, votaries of Saint Cognatius, whose monastery is the only settlement on the planet. Or rather, it used to be. Some time ago, a transport vessel, the Nayuka, unloaded several thousand refugees from a planet belonging to rogue trader Winterscale. The Order of the Hammer has judged this invasion to be an act of aggression and is asking for your ladyship's protection.
People, prepare to pray. Party on a shuttle. I'm taking monastery. People are the victims, not the invaders. Yeah, we're going in the people Order of the Hammer. Yeah.
As it pleases your ladyship. Sixscore and 11 days after the feast of the passing of Nicomedes Keefe, the champion of faith, disquietude marred the calm of the monastery of the Order of the Hammer. Countless tortured souls, steeped in fear, arrived on Foulstone in a starbuck. A great apostasy had befallen their home and turned them into abject wanderers seeking help and refuge. Their wicked and cruel captain, the owner of the Nayuka, had betrayed them. Once the unknowing souls in his care had made landfall on the world's surface, he most deviously recalled his shuttles and left, thus ridding himself of his duty of care to the unfortunate lot. Not knowing how they would survive in Foulstone's grim wastelands, the forsaken people came to the monastery of Saint Cognatius, and there they surrounded its walls. They hammered their fists on its gate, and implored, and wailed, "Take us in. Protect us." And what once was a place of serenity and grace was now full of din, disorder, and all manner of things despicable. The interlopers brought with them worldly futility and strife, and mayhap also the seeds of alluring blasphemies, if fiendly heathens lurked in their midst.
After a prayer, prelate Heretical turned his eye to the past in search of instruction.
Prelate Hectachius recalled the first missionaries to set foot on Foulstone's vast wasteland, led by their zeal for serving Saint Cognatius. And those missionaries had received the blessing of Nicomedes Keefe, the champion of faith who had travelled with them in their starbuck, to found in this place a humble and pure abode wherein to cultivate wisdom and piety. And Saint Cognatius, a man of great endeavours, a warrior and a wise artificer, never cowered behind the walls of a librium, but stepped bravely into the darkness, carrying light in the palm of his hand, and he commanded others to do the same. And not only Foulstone but many other worlds of the Coronus expanse bear its imprint.
And the prelate did welcome the interlopers warmly as his guests, but did not warn his brethren to keep their vigilance.
The brethren and sisters of the Order of the Hammer came forth to meet the strangers, carrying water and protein victuals and medicinal herbs and jugs of promethium. But the crowd came to blows over viands, and blood was spilt, and many were trampled or mauled in the stampede, some of them dwellers of the monastery. Then the warriors of the Order of the Hammer donned their flak cowls, inscribed words of praise to the God Emperor on their tactical visors, and went forth, ready to render service in battle. With las guns and bolters they pierced the interlopers, with their chain swords and power flails they struck them, and a great and bloody harvest was reaped that day. But the interlopers, too, scant though their armament was and scanter their skill in battle, slew many among the monastery's dwellers, for great were their numbers and greater their desperation. The monks fled beyond their walls, and rang the vox alarum, and shut the gate, and commanded the armed guards to keep watch over that gate, slaying any who approached.
Continue.
A quarrel broke out. The hungry and the sick lay siege to the monastery, begging for help. In their spite, they blocked the water collector and unpowered the generatorium. The faithful, in the meantime, made ready to resist. And a miracle came to pass. The God Emperor sent his champion, his confidant, his right hand, the rogue trader of the blessed house von Valancius. May the light of his grace remain upon it forever.
May the dwellers of the monastery fight the interlopers for her amusement, like beasts of war, and promise generous boons to the victor. That sounds really good. Unleashed her armed force upon the interlopers and monks alike, wrecking great shed of blood and pillaging at her election. Which one should we go for? Should we use our army, or should we make them fight each other and just watch? There's more rewards in it for us if we just make them fight each other. Or just unleash our army against them. You know what? We're just going to unleash our army against them. +30 heretical.
Heretical +30. So was changed forevermore the life of the monastery of the Order of the Hammer and its brethren. Having waged a great battle and plundered mercilessly, the rogue trader claimed her wicked harvest and departed Foulstone, with nary a backward look.
I don't know how I feel about that. Here's the kicker. I'm a nice person in real life. I don't like murdering everyone. It's not really my style, but yeah. All damage dealt with this weapon pushes an enemy. Weapon pushes an enemy is increased by 100%. Armor penetration of this flamer is increased by 4, but does not inflict burning effects. Okay, so weapons. I want the sorting mod so badly right now because it's getting a bit ridiculous for me personally. If the wearer kills an enemy with a charge, this ability has no cooldown. Okay, so now we have we're running a weird charge build on Abelard. Do we have something more that actually applies to charge? I don't think so, right? Bonus to commerce. This deals additional 15%. Okay, yeah. Okay, first we'll repair our ship. I don't know how I feel about actually taking those on. You know what? We're moving over to the next sector overall. Can travel up there. So is there a way to actually mark a sector? Like, it would be nice to actually have some kind of marking function. How are we with cargo right now? We have a lot. Okay. We have really a lot of it. Okay, that is great.
The magnetic storm raging above the planet blurs the gaze of auger arrays. Only truly powerful diviner machines may see through the currents of magnetic fluctuations in their blessed vigil and discover the mysteries of this emperor-forsaken planet.
Okay. So we can't do anything with that. Magnetic storm. Here? Okay.
The ruins of an ancient imperial city were discovered on a dead world completely deprived of an ecosystem. According to the reports, the entire settlement is contained in a titanic glass dome that once held an artificial atmosphere. Your augurs detected the framework of 3 other similar structures that were never completed. For whatever reason, the dome's systems failed, and left behind is this city, a ghost that never managed to become a proper colony of the Imperium.
Send out a crew to explore the city's temple district.
The temple district is situated at the heart of the city. The God Emperor's statue, intricately carved from precious crystal, is suspended beneath the dome, supported by chains of gold, and can be seen from anywhere in the colony. Inspired by the majestic sight, the expedition members set off to explore the area with renewed vigor. Soon enough, they stumbled upon an ancient weapon lying on a pedestal wreathed in sunlight. The expedition brought it back to the ship and told many tales about how the Emperor himself, who had been watching them from above, had directed their attention to the sacred relic.
Order the scout to gather as many supplies as possible.
Your people flooded the city like a tidal wave, filled building after building, bunkhouse after bunkhouse, and receded from its quiet streets just as quickly. There were plenty of useful things among their findings, including foodstuffs and weapons.
Drain the remaining fuel. Oh, it's my selector. Okay. Explore the local palace.
A lavishly decorated estate of the local ruler towers over rows of featureless bunkhouses. Several explorers perished from the cleverly hidden tripwires in the courtyard, but after losing their companions, the team easily disarmed the remaining traps in the estate. Anything of value has been promptly delivered to the rogue trader's vessel. The Lord Captain was even given an exquisite sword found in a secret cache that once belonged to the mansion's owner.
Drain the remaining fuel from the generator station. The city won't need it anymore.
It takes several trips to deliver the massive promethium storage tanks to your vessel. The crew grimly points out the colony was running out of fuel. Had the life support systems not failed prematurely, the locals would still have perished due to lack of energy.
Okay. Dead world added to expanse world. Oh yeah. Begin the scan. What do we have? No. We already have that. So yeah, no, first priority now is level up, gain profit factor, might go back and try to actually...
Permission to report, Lord Captain. I keep receiving messages about strange behaviors in certain ship systems. All decks report the uncontrollable opening and closing of doors, gates, and airlocks. They behave erratically and do not obey the operator's commands. Regrettably, this has led to casualties among the crew. The tech priests have explained that these phenomena are being caused by the machine spirit's irascibility and have spent hours chanting litanies to soothe their anger. Unfortunately, many crew members were badly injured before the prayers could stabilize the systems. Lord Captain, permission to address you with a request. Our head chirurgeon is sabotaging the ship's operations. He has quarantined several Voidsman crews on account of a piddling sickness. People don't even go to the meat bay when they come down with it. They just wipe their noses and keep working. Only a dozen or so die from it in a whole year. We're sitting on our hands here, so I ask you to talk some sense into him. Your vox clicks, and you hear a dry, nonchalant response. Greetings, your ladyship. My name is Lettered Forius, and I am the chirurgeon majoress of this vessel. As your chief medici specialist, I assure you that the quarantine is well warranted. This piddling sickness has claimed the lives of a number of meritorious officers in the past. This time, I intend to get the epidemic under control, study the disease thoroughly, and develop a proper cure. I hope you will agree that a single period of downtime is a small price to pay for the number of lives that will be saved and the increase in the crew's performance during other such outbreaks in the future. Not to mention the fact that we won't have to waste stimulants due to the afflicted using them as a crutch to offset their limited work capacity.
How do you intend to study this disease?
By gathering enough infected individuals together, letting the illness progress, comprehending its properties, and, finally, killing it. The disease goes through several stages, with each containing clues to its nature and vulnerabilities. The Voidsman will have to stay sick for some time until I discover the cure, assuming, of course, that the disease is reversible in its final stages.
1. Iconoclast, defeating a disease is a noble goal, but I cannot approve of your methods. Find volunteers among the crew who will agree to being infected in exchange for compensation. I expect you to cure every one of them once you are done. 2. Dogmatic, the Voidsmen are to be treated and put back to work. If you want test subjects, tell the Master-at-Arms to provide you with the required number of convicts and other riffraff. 3. Heretical, make the most of it, Forius. If understanding this disease will indeed let you delve deeper into the nature of wicked afflictions, then you may have as many test subjects as you need. You may expend them all if that is what it takes.
Yeah.
Expend them. What is that supposed to mean, Lord Cap'n? Now we'll have to teach new idiots the ins and outs of the Voidsman's craft. Allow me to relieve your panic, Master Helmsman, by saying that I will not stand for any waste of life. The losses among the crew will be negligible. You hear muffled grumbling over the Vox. Orders received, Lord Cap'n. I will redistribute the shifts between healthy crew members, and may the Emperor keep them from dying from exhaustion. I thank your ladyship for granting me this opportunity. A touch of warmth enlivens Forius's dispassionate voice. Trust me, I am the healer who will live up to your expectations. Should you require my services, you may find me on the bridge.
Hey. New system. Let's visit this one as well. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum. I need a better ship before I actually start fighting people. I'm really reluctant to actually start going up head to head with them. Augur Anomaly. Oh, this one. Oh. There is no explanation for it. This is one of those things that just freaks me out in general.
They will
Incredible. Your heart.
The surface bears the marks of determined and protracted effort. Someone made dozens of scratches, which chaotically intersect at different angles without any order or logic.
Only laypersons believe feelings to be the preserve of
These ancient cogitators are long dead. Despite this, the covers of the machines are still intact. It seems unlikely that the inner parts were ruined by the elements, so they could still prove useful.
Maintenance and the satisfaction of effective devotional service.
What are you jamming about? Where?
Patience! Oh, my nerves are frayed.
Oh my god.
It has been several months since we arrived here, and yet we are no closer to understanding the local phenomenon. All that we were able to learn quite literally lies on the surface. The object does not reflect sound or light, on the contrary, it very much absorbs them. After extensive excavation, we did ascertain, at least, that the object is vast and goes deep below the planet's surface. However, any attempts to measure it resulted in loss of machinery or staff. Archaeological studies have turned out to be more productive. Their findings have revealed an amalgamation of architectural styles of various cultures, including those of Zeno's origin. According to the boldest theories, the earliest of these structures date from the beginning of the 30th millennium, and all of them are, without a doubt, of a religious nature. Analysis of bas-reliefs and remaining epigraphic texts shows that a cult was formed around the object. For many centuries, Zenos and subsequently humans worshipped the object in exchange for certain boons, undoubtedly imagined by primitive or corrupted minds. These ancient cogitators are long dead. Despite this, the covers of the machines are still intact. It seems unlikely that the inner parts were ruined by the elements, so they could still prove useful. Inside the containers are the remnants of stones and frescoes depicting a black spot surrounded by structures of some sort.
Touch the darkness and the darkness will accept you. Okay.
The darkness swirls beneath your feet, a void of impenetrable gloom. You do not hear a single sound from the depths of the pit. No wailing wind, no rustle of dust.
Examine the pit.
The bright daylight cannot pierce the darkness lying over the slopes. The longer you look into its depth, the stronger the feeling grows that this darkness isn't just an absence of light. It is something immeasurably vast, endless, capable of reaching the farthest stars or swallowing a galaxy. Through sheer force of will, you avert your gaze.
Lean over and stretch your hand into the darkness.
At the edge of your consciousness, you sense something slimy and intangible answering your invitation for contact. It seeps into your thoughts, tasting your emotions. Surprise and curiosity envelop you, but these feelings are not your own.
Try to dominate the entity.
You feel your way to the barely tangible edges of the entity's consciousness, separate it from yourself, and squeeze it until it is reduced to the size of a bead. The entity trembles, trying to break free of your mental grasp. Surprise, rage, elation, and fear replace one another. After a while, the entity stabilizes, but the moment you loosen your grip, it escapes, leaving behind a piece of itself inside your mind. Black, impenetrable darkness carries on with its silent existence.
What was the achievement we just got? What was the achievement we just got? Achievement. You subdued the pit. Okay. Yes, we're leaving now.
What lies beyond?
I thought it would be more. I thought we could actually do something more major with it. Maybe it unlocked some kind of quest or something like that, but no, it doesn't seem like it. Don't mind if I do. You know what?
A
Fuck it.
report shows up on your personal cogitator screen. Unknown ships are towing the Interstellar Sextant, a cargo ship belonging to one of Footfall's wealthiest traders. It looks like the pirates have bitten off more than they can chew, and have now been forced to drag the ship to a more secluded place where they can plunder it undisturbed.
Attack the pirates.
As soon as they see you, The escort ships charge into battle at once, while the captive sextant powers up its warp engines. Unless you interrupt the preparation for the jump, the cargo ship will forever vanish beyond the veil of the Immatrium, along with all the riches it is carrying.
Intercept. We need money! That's why actually one of the things, like, I would love for there to actually be some kind of way to actually unlock
Activate the
bigger
Deller
ships.
field. Emergency warp jump in 3, 4.
Void Master, if you please. Let the macro cannon sing their twisted song. Launch the devastating payload.
Three.
Initiate macro cannon barrage. Engage the macro cannons.
Two.
Initiate macro cannon barrage. Lance!
What is that? +5 cells, macro cannon shield. This enhance the macro cannons, increase in incoming damage whenever the vessel in the molecular zone. Really now?
Sail upon the seas of void. Oh, commence the symphony of macro cannons. The Void Master, if you please. Commence torpedo launch. Initiate macro cannon barrage.
Okay. I'm taking some real damage, huh? Oh my god.
1.
I might actually die.
Engage the macro cannons.
We surrender.
Commence the symphony of macro cannons.
Yeah, I'm going to die. Yep. This is my bigger. Okay, this is the bottomless pit we just finished up. I don't think our ship is too weak. We don't really have any gear for that at all currently. That's why I'm just like, taking void battles is not that of a great idea in my opinion early on. Like later on, your ship becomes a monster. But that's when you have the gear pieces for it as well. We already scanned these. Right? Yeah, I think we already scanned these. So, look at the ship. We can actually upgrade the hull. $200. That is a bit better. It's a bit better. I don't want to go and upgrade the like the RAM. I don't have an interest in that. We are going to put this on Agatha though. Because of course we are. And I'm contemplating. Yeah, we're going with that hammer instead. It has a bit more damage, but less. You can abuse the push a lot more with throwing someone halfway across the map is a good idea. Magnetic storm.
Lord Captain, I hasten to report the disturbing news brought to me by the machine spirits of the ship. The matter is extremely delicate and concerns Lady Cassia. You see, since her first day aboard, her presence has been a disturbance to the crew's way of life. If you'll allow, I have prepared a detailed report.
Deliver your report.
The first incident occurred immediately after our departure from Yorick V. The Lady Navigator chastised one of the ship's runners, after which he went to his living quarters, killed his family, and then shot himself. The second incident was noted while traversing the warp. The Lady Navigator gave the pilots the wrong instructions and the void ship was thrown off course, for a matter of minutes, but this was enough for the forces of the Immatrium to anger the machine spirits enough for them to start a fire in the service bay. After that, officers living near the Lady Navigator's quarters began to express extreme emotions: hysteria, apathy, euphoria, rage. This is quite detrimental to crew morale and performance. The last incident was recorded on Footfall. Around 100 living birds were delivered on board during our stay on Footfall. Each bird cost a hefty sum, but I have failed to discover their purpose and subsequent fate. I was also told about a conflict between the Lady Navigator and the Seneschal. Alas, with no details. If you like, you can ask Master Viserion directly. Things are even worse with J. Hayderi. I intercepted a voxcast in which she promised she would, and I quote, end that Kashar if she ever saw her again. If I may, Lord Captain, the Lady Navigator's state of mind worries me. She is self-contained and does not mesh with the crew at all, which is why everyone avoids her. Even senior officers can be superstitious. I fear that only you are in a position to talk to her on an equal footing and improve the situation. For the sake of the crew's safety, and that of Lady Cassia herself.
Okay.
Lord Captain, I bring dire news. A feud has broken out between the clans that maintain the Void Shield arrays. Rumor has it that the late Lady Theodora was seen on the lower decks, and so one of the families called for a rebellion against the usurper of the Void Ship. That is, you. So far, no one believes their mad tales, but unrest has begun at the fringes of the compartments. The ship's enforcers are ready to eliminate the instigating clan or pacify the entire Void Shield crew. The decision is yours.
Destroy the rebellious clan and find a replacement among the neighboring crews.
I'll see to it, Lord Captain.
I'm trying to be more decisive. More just...
Lord Captain, we have an emergency. We have received word that there has been a sighting. The messages we have received are incomplete and vague, little more than yelling and hysterical claims. There are reports of casualties and unrest. The compartment in question has already been sealed off, but I thought you might want to look into what's going on for yourself.
I'll deal with it personally.
Right away, Lord Captain.
Yeah. That's the backside of actually being a psyker. They're not many
Warriors
of
are
them.
powerful melee combat experts. Their signature ability provides them additional mobility and defense. They are experts at provoking enemies.
And who now deigns to grace us with their presence? Another gaggle of heretics and traitors thirsting to get their due for what they've done? Or is it the leader herself, who has finally grown tired of hiding behind others?
Theodora von Valancius is before you, and she looks grotesque. A hole yawns wide in her chest, rusted hooks protrude from beneath her skin, and a lumpen, inflamed scar cuts across her throat. The figure flickers, as though it is dropping in and out of this reality. She looks at you with the whitish eyes of a corpse and smiles venomously.
Rogue traitor. We meet at last. I had grown tired of waiting for you to pay me a visit.
Theodora's look is appraising, and her mocking tone turns to one of distaste.
Indeed, centuries of selfless toil and effort, and everything I left behind has gone to this non-entity.
Argenta's eyes spark with fury.
Warp illusion. Begone. Argenta, my dear, there's no need to make such a fuss. Why don't we sit down over a cup of recaf like we used to? I'll listen to your rapturous tales of sacred relics, portents, and your special path. You must have been so lonely without me here. No one else is willing to listen to your ravings, or help you with your childish treasure hunt.
Theodora laughs melodiously, almost without mockery. At the sight of the terrifying Theodora, Abelard's face turns sickly pale.
Throne spare us from the cursed apparitions of the archenemy.
Is that what you are truly praying for? I can hear how fast your heart is pounding, Bercerian. I think deep down you hope this apparition never ends. You are not Daemon Theodora.
Kibella's eyes blaze with fury.
The Undying One does not relinquish the souls that come to him, such is the absolute truth. You are a thief of names. Foolish child. Your world is limited to the darkness of the lower decks and the words of your desire. You know nothing of truth or death. You do not even know the first thing about yourself.
Theodora's voice is dripping with venomous condescension.
Die, scum.
The strike passes through Theodora, who simply laughs scornfully.
So that's how you greet your great predecessor, girl. Bonds stronger than the laws of life and nature are holding me in this world. You will find it somewhat harder to get rid of me a second time.
We have already met.
Of course, girl, for it was I who gave the order to bring you here, to my ship. Oh, how I rue that decision now. And how I regret heeding the advice of my seneschal.
Abelard whispers hurriedly to you.
How can this be? It is the same vision as on the officer's deck, and yet entirely different. Why does it not remember that meeting? And why does it remember what the real Lady Theodora did?
Alas, my glorious voyage through life was ended in the dullest possible way, by death. A nuisance I staved off as long as I could. But do not weep for me, my girl, I am still keeping an eye on my property. And punishing all those who failed me.
Theodora bares her rotten teeth in a snarl, her laughter piercing.
Where's Idra? What have you done with her?
Me. What have I done with Idira?
Theodora laughs mockingly.
All I did was turn that little mutt from the fringes into a true servant of the Imperium. I gave her toys, I cleaned up after her antics, I provided her with everything she could ever dream of. Oh, I had great plans for poor little Idira.
You are not Theodora. Theodora is dead. There's no coming back from that.
I'm dead? How is that? I am no different from those who have not yet crossed the divide between reality and eternity. I see. I speak. I remember the wrongs you all committed against me. And for all those who failed me, I have already begun exacting my retribution. I truly am Theodora, the remnants of herself that she left behind in this world. I am an echo of her memories preserved in the minds of those who cared for her. I am the taste of tears spilled for the unsaid and the undone. I am the terror of she who failed to turn the tide of fate and who refuses to look truth in the face. I am as real as the human passions that bring worlds to ruin.
If you are Theodora, then tell me, who really killed you?
Oh, wouldn't you like to know the answer to that question? I don't even know which would be more satisfying, to give you an honest answer or leave you to languish in your ignorance. We'll see how you conduct yourself, little girl.
What do you want with me? Why are you waiting for me?
Theodora wearily rolls her eyes.
Matters are so dire that the pleas of one of my servants breached death's veil to reach my ears. How could I ignore such a desperate cry for help, and from my little Idira, no less? And, once I appeared here, of course I had to meet the pretender who has allowed this deplorable state of affairs.
I will send you back to the abyss you crawled out of.
You. Of all the people to ever threaten me, you are the most pathetic, girl. All that you possess now was given to you in error. You are unworthy of such a generous gift and you are incapable of holding on to it. I am here to seek retribution against all who failed me. My brainless crew. My useless officers. My pathetic servants, who turned their backs on their mistress in her darkest hour. And worst of all, you, my dear heir. You, who have undeservedly claimed the warrant and everything else that is mine. I will drag it all to the warp with me, including you.
Patience. Oh, my nerves are frayed.
A huge shell ready to be loaded into the macro cannon breech.
Being around here somewhere. Ah, there you are, my little coward. Won't you look at your captain, Idara? It's wrong. It's all wrong. Look at her, my little Idra is utterly trapped in her visions. No matter. Wait, I will allay your doubts.
Lord Captain?
Idira turns her head to you, but her demented gaze only rests briefly on your face before sliding away. Up close you can see that the base of one of Idira's temple implants has blackened and melted.
No, wait, Lord Captain, Lady Von Valancius.
Idira raises her eyes to Theodora, who stands before her. Tears stream down Idira's cheeks.
You came back.
Theodora clucks her tongue in sympathy, reaching out to tenderly stroke Idira's hair.
Poor little Idira. There, how could I not come? You were crying for me so desperately, your pleas carried to the very depths of the warp itself.
The smile suddenly drops from her mutilated face.
Why didn't you save me? Why didn't you warn me? Answer me, you insignificant wretch, or I'll drag the answer out of you myself.
Theodora's fingers dig into Idira's scalp, meeting no resistance. Idira lets out a soul-chilling howl and tries to grab the hand tearing into her, but her fingers pass through the monster's flesh.
I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything that could have had anything to do with you. I'm sorry, Lord Captain, I failed.
Idira breaks into a strangled scream and you feel the air around you grow rapidly colder. Argenta wordlessly swings her weapon up and aims it at Idira, who is struggling in the monster's hold. The Sister of Battle looks at her without an ounce of doubt or mercy.
Genta, stop!
Argenta wrinkles her nose at your shouted command and lowers the weapon by a few centimeters, but she does not put it away.
Idra, I'm your captain, not her. Listen to me, snap out of it.
Idira shudders and goes limp. Then she blinks, disoriented, and looks at you.
Lord Captain. Damn it.
Theodora shoves the psyker away with a low snarl. The rogue trader's body begins to change, losing its human shape.
Chaos will devour you. It will devour everyone responsible for my death. Die. Die for the delectation of my lord.
Oh, what a glorious storm this battle will be!
You'll make a suitable sacrifice.
Oh, we actually have mutants now. We didn't have mutants last time we did this fight, I'm quite sure of. Okay, we got that up. What does that actually do? Reduce damage dealt from the target's attack for 1 round. Target would reject flesh feature. Costs 25 shock damage. If it's a mechanism or a machine, it suffers 50 damage instead. Okay.
A genius at work.
19 damage. Ooh, that's juicy, honestly.
Schemes within schemes within schemes.
Isn't this a job for the sir?
Okay. So we have 2 points left. We're going to spend those on giving
If you insist, Lord
Octavia
Captain.
another turn. And she's just going to light you on fire as well. 17 stacks, and we're going to apply...
Oh, a wicked.
I do not care about warp effects, honestly.
Pain is but an illusion.
I bring mercy and retribution. Trust me, Count. The other side awaits.
Okay, that's actually nice.
As honor ordains. As the tenets demand. The shadows will see it done.
What does that actually do? Lethality damage ignore at the beginning of each turn of the target. Okay.
Out of my way! Ah! Death to non-believers!
I feel nothing, fear nothing.
God Emperor, move through me. Be the fire in my heart. Doubt is for the weak. I'll do it. Eradicated. As the Emperor commands, I act.
You know what? We're going to push you.
I serve the ruinous powers!
Ice crystals appear in the air.
What debuffs do you actually have currently? Where are you? You're that person. Okay. Incoming damage for 1 turn.
What if? A wicked thought. Schemes within schemes.
No,
Isn't
That-
this a job for the Scouts?
she's vibrating so
If
much.
I may.
What do you have? Horrors of the Warp -5. Melting.
Let's see.
I missed. Of course I did.
My prescience has failed me.
I would that I could. I will leave footprints of scarlet. I shall not pay tribute to the undying Emperor.
That's a lot of dead.
It's nothing. I'll do it.
As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith without deeds is worthless. That is not the Emperor's will. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones.
Okay, and we
I
charge
will do
in.
my duty. It will be done.
Each strike is a prayer.
Shadows start to bleed.
What do we have? Let's just shoot it.
A genius at work.
Do not dare ask.
Okay, we have that triggered, right? Yeah.
Another one is shattered.
Okay, nice.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
And Idra is down.
An offering of blood. A dance of blades and shadows.
Nope.
fury. In thy light I stand, and thy light I crave. Doubt is for the weak.
Victory is imminent. Reduce to dust! It will be done. Pain and duty go hand in hand.
Okay, let's put that. And then
Running binary override. The scriptural prognosis is favorable.
30 damage, okay.
Let's see. Schemes within schemes.
Okay, you're now stuck there.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
I need to get the thing that makes it so I can hit several dual wielding weapons.
I am your blade and shield. Trust me. As honor or death. The shadows will see it done. Killing brings me no pleasure.
Idira stares at you with crazed eyes while clutching the wounds on her head.
Okay.
At first, no sound comes out of her moving lips, then she coughs weakly and whispers.
Lord Captain, is it really you?
Argenta trains her weapon on Idira and watches you closely.
Are you alright?
Idira removes her hand from her head and tries to wipe away her tears, leaving bloody marks on her face. Then she touches her burnt-out implant, frowning.
I don't know. It should be quiet, but in my head, the whispering's louder. It shouldn't be like that.
This abomination claims that you called her, is that true?
Me? Did I? Yes, Lord Captain, I think it was me who called her. I can barely remember. The voices, my old, good whispers, they suddenly turned red, sharp, they started cutting, tearing, ripping me to pieces. I cried out, I called for help, and she came.
Idira groans and clutches her head.
Damn it, why are the voices making so much noise now? Shut up. Shut up.
Has anything like this ever happened to you before?
Like this, never. Well, there was something, but it was different. It wasn't as strong, or as terrifying. Apparitions appeared. Mechanisms malfunctioned. The crew lost their minds.
Idira breaks off.
But Lady Von Valancius knew about that. She said it was a small price to pay, an acceptable expense. No psyker is immune to it. But what happened here, it was just a mistake. I won't do it again.
Idira stretches her lips in a helpless smile, looking past you.
There will be no more mistakes, Lord Captain.
Argenta grits her teeth.
This is not the first time this heretic has caused the death of her crew. Do you remember the incident on the mid-deck, Idira? What did those honest souls ever do to deserve such a fate? To be turned into mutants and attack their own families. You are a monster. A heretic. If you have any humanity left in you, admit what you are. Shut up.
Idira moans.
Quit your preaching, you're the worst out of everyone here.
The previous rogue trader has been seen on the ship recently. Was that your doing?
Yes, Octavia the Fire Axe. I did it a couple of times, when I'd had too much to drink. At the time, I thought I heard her voice among all the whispers in my head. The voice was so sad, so clear, I couldn't help myself, I answered. I hoped I could reach her, there.
Idira bites her lip.
Ever since she died, since I first heard her voice in my head, the whispers have gotten louder. Clearer. Harder to resist.
You hear the warp whispering in your head, and you answer it. Are you insane?
You don't know what it's like, the most important person in your life, who's now gone forever, suddenly starts talking to you inside your head. How could I not try to reach her? I had to.
She falls silent for a moment. When she next begins to speak, it is in a barely audible whisper.
I know what you're thinking. During the warp jump, when Lady Theodora came out toward us, I keep thinking about that meeting. I keep blaming myself. Why didn't I divine it? Why didn't I stop her killer? These thoughts have been playing at the back of my mind, day after day, choking me with guilt, and do you know what? The one, on the officer's deck, I don't know what that was. But this time, here, this was the product of my guilt. An accuser straight out of my own mind.
So what am I supposed to do with you now?
Idira turns sharply to face you.
Octavia the Fire Axe, I know after everything I've done, you have no faith in my willpower or my strength, but I can fix everything. It's just I'm not at my best, you see, but maybe we can find a way to replace my implants. Or some other remedy, a better one. Lady Von Valencia said that such a thing could be found, if not here, then elsewhere. I just didn't need it before, but we just need to find it. We need to figure out where to look for it, and we'll get it. And until then, I'll keep myself on a tight leash.
What will happen to my crew while we are looking for this remedy?
Idira swallows and straightens.
I'll pull myself together, Lord Captain. The death of Lady Von Valencius knocked me for 6, I'll get myself under control. No more booze, no more obscura, nothing. And I'll stop walking around the lower decks. I'll be stone cold sober.
She determinedly wipes the tears and blood from her face.
I want to help you, Idra. We'll think of something.
Idira covers her face with her hands and tries to hold back her sobs.
Thank you, Octavia the Fire Axe. I won't let you down. You are making a mistake, Lord Captain. Perhaps you will find something to slow the decline, but it will not stop it. Only a miracle can save Heretical now.
Idira awkwardly shakes out her stained clothing.
I think I'd better, with your permission, Lord Captain.
She sways, takes a step back, and faints.
Lord Captain?
The Vox Master's shaking voice comes over the comm-beat.
I received a report that the shooting on the lower deck had stopped. I presume you have brought the situation under control. Awaiting further instructions.
I got rid of the warp illusions. Idra is alive. Bring her to the Kyurgen and have them see her.
You hear unconcealed relief in the Vox Master's voice.
Of course, Lord Captain. As you command.
There will be no peace in my wake.
Unlocked.
Success is an irrefutable certainty.
Where's perception bonus until the next turn for each enemy affected by their psi. Power psi staff attack. After triggering a psychic phenomena or perils at warp, the wearer's psi rating is increased by 1 until the end of combat. The wearer's momentum and temporary wounds equal to their resolve.
Ah, one step at
Instead
a
of regular
time,
symbols and
amidst
numbers, the
madness.
screens display slanted script, almost resembling handwriting, in an unknown language.
Oh, we have another mutant down there? We didn't loot? Okay. Okay. We've been going at it for 2.5 hours now. Damn it. Time goes fast when you're having fun. So we have gotten a bit of Argenta's story. We've gotten a bit of Idra's story. We've explored a couple of star systems. We got on our hands beaten to us by just everything they could, pretty much. We are now back at Footfall, the Buddhist system, or whatever it was called. So that is the plan right now. We are going to dock up, check.
A familiar voice cuts through.
Because we have a lot more profit margin, we can actually buy these things here. Each sector amount against blast weapons, firing arc, (14 damage. We want to get up to these things. Or is it that one? That's an upgrade. That is also an upgrade. Void Pirate. So we only have one. Select 2. We have 1k extra. That's not going to get us anywhere close to anything. Hello, Drex. How are you doing? The hunt for knowledge. Shadow Quellers. We're going to the atrium first because we need to hit up. Reverend Harmonious to maybe get ourselves a heavy bolter. That is, if we can get a heavy bolter on Argenta, we can start just hosing enemies down, and that might be really good for us. Yeah, life keeps on trucking. Nothing out of the ordinary, just continues on. Hosing down, what a man. Well, it's a woman who's going to use it, so that might be saying anything. She's saying something different about it.
The Emperor protects.
We can buy ourselves a chainsword. That's the one we want. So we need at least uniform, fuel, pipe. We want. We can get rid of a few of those, a few of the provisions. Jewelry, that's free. If we pump all our holy gifts into it, we might have something, but select all 9,000. No, we're not spending all of it here. Free holy artifacts is going elsewhere. Putting a few of these in as well. $4K. Ship components. Nope, we're not spending that here. That's 4.3. Okay. It's so I don't need to read it very much. Yeah. Okay, so we don't need that much more for it. So we need 400 more. Okay, we have ourselves the heavy bolter. Cloak of Retribution. Full wound again. +5 to all characteristics. Crack grenades. Okay. We have what we want. it's a simple mod, so I don't need to read. So yeah. Sadly, it makes use of Windows' own TTS, and it doesn't make use out of any of the other TTSs. There is versions of the mod that actually uses online TTS. The problem with online TTS is it is really unstable, to the point of crashes a lot of times. So yeah, I don't know. I got my ass beaten by space pirates.
Welcome back.
Space pirates, a fair bit of other crazy people as well. So at this point, I think I'm winning, but it's hard to say. We have a 5 discount here. For next rank, we need, to be fair, to get what we want, we actually need to go far down the tree here. That's probably 10,000 rep there. That is another fire staff. Gain... Wait. The wheeler gains the staff power level 7. The Inferno gains the ability. Also gain Heroic Act. 15 willpower. Power level affects damage of this for every 2 creatures suffering from burning this combat. The power level of this staff is increased by 1. Okay. Are we getting big sexy beard cats? Slowly but surely. It's can't really do anything other than do anything with it because it's slowly growing. I presume at around Christmas it's going to be back to its former power, so to say.
Welcome back.
Reputation. Okay, what do we have? We can throw that. That's 500, so that's going to be the next rank. So that's at least something. Industrial. Mace is a hammer. It's a 2-handed mace, pretty much. Okay.
Patience. My nerves are frayed.
How are we with cargo currently? It's not bad, but it's not great either. A strange rash has appeared on the skin. Venture into the void ship's transportation tunnels, most likely. Another trophy I've claimed. Trophy you claimed from an unpleasant place.
Whisper and be heard. There will be no peace in my wake.
Shadow Quarter. Where are the shadows? The deepest. Okay, yep. That is, we petitioned to get into the quarantine zone to see what was going on in the quarantine zone in Footfall. So that is what the quest is. It literally wants us to go in there and take a look. I don't know if we should. That is the other question, if we actually should go in there. We are going to speak to Opticon 22 right now. Because Opticon 22 is a good boy.
Access has been granted to the following options.
Show data
With
slate.
a respectful nod,
Nice.
the tech priest takes the data slate.
The collected data is // of interest // significant / compliant with the criteria for cooperation //. The Cognizance Fleet thanks you for your contribution and guarantees the provision of a reciprocal // service // indulgence / in the form of parts and equipment. Reporting. The Kappa thread supply line is ready to continue cooperation with the Von Valancius dynasty in the sphere of planetary reconnaissance.
Yep. Nice. We can now purchase a lot more stuff. This brutal axe strikes attacks of opportunity. Brutal strikes. Oh, okay. So the AoE is actually on the opportunity strikes. So when people are going in and out of field of view, pretty much. Hydrogens, 8+ medicine, also grants toughness. Bonus after using medkit. Okay. We have stims and mobile extractors. I want that one. I want that one.
One step at a time, amidst the madness.
To the void we go. To the void we go. Contemplating of actually calling it here. We're coming up on the 3-hour mark, and if we start something right now, it's a fair amount of time to get that done. So I think we're just going to call it here for today. I'm still contemplating respecking Fire Axe. Respecking Fire Axe into something else. Either go Soldier or Warrior for first level. And get myself dual attacks. That is what I'm leaning towards currently. We got us a... Oh, yeah. Okay, fire rate is... The thing is, I want a stock... I want a bolter. I want a bolter with low fire rate and high damage on her. 14, 9, 15, 15. It's the exact same bolter. Okay. And we also have... Where do we have it? It was here, I'm sure of it. Heretical. This is why I want the sorting mod to actually get updated. There we have it. Now she has a bolter. Now we need to actually find gear pieces that improves her ability when it comes to dealing a ton of damage with this heavy bolter. Increase movement points by 3. Allies within 2,000 unyielding beacon. Not relevant for you. Not relevant for you. Unconscious. The wearer's range attack hit an enemy. The wearer's wearer gain a 5% bonus to critical chance for the next ranged attack against the same target enemy. Does not stack. Okay. Single shots. Reload might actually be good. Reload might actually be good. Hit chance against Xenos. That's not going to make a big difference. Dodge chance. Incoming damage. Armor 25. You know what? That feels like a just genuine better upgrade for you. 55, 20. Nope. 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 25. Yep. We need to fit you with... Oh my god, that's a lot of them. That is a lot of them, huh? That's what I honestly expect. Nothing less. Okay. And yeah, we need to look at her as well. We got a pair of shoes that just has more movement speed on them, right? When the wearer kills 2 or more enemies with a single attack, the attack does not spend all the wearer's. Just 3 plus movement speed. Yep. I think stuff, mimic fiber coloration surrounding the cloak grants the wearer. The burning cloak is good as well. You don't have a cloak. You don't have a cloak either. You have a shotgun though. That's good. Here's the thing. Jay is a monster when it comes to just conversation stuff. Persuasion, coercion, stuff like that. That's where Jay had been really is good at. And that's kind of the thing I'm coming to, like, what do we want Jay to actually be? Are we going to use Jay in the group, or are we just going to have her as some kind of thing on the side? Ignores first critical hit in the combat. Because we can make a really good conversation target at all, overall. But yeah. That's actually a fair point. Huh? Oh, that only fits on... That only goes on Idra. Really now? That is really interesting. That is really interesting. I thought I could have slapped that on my character as well. The wearer gains perception bonus dodge until the start of the next turn for each enemy affected by their psi powers or staff attacks. The wearer gains 50% damage against enemies that dealt damage to the wearer this turn. Cannot be dodged or parried. I want to make a grenade character. But I cannot make a good... You know what? We're going to use it. We are going to use it. But we don't have any fire grenades. Well, that sucks. That was my idea. Anyway. We are going to save here. Stream 7. And we are done with the stream for today. I want to wish everyone a good night. If you actually come to the end of this, thank you very much for sticking around. If you actually want to see how this adventure continues on or catch up to everything that's going on, look at YouTube. every single episode or every single stream of this is going straight up to YouTube. And it pretty much goes, there's going to be an upload pretty much every day of this. Anyway, I want to wish everyone a good night. I'm going to go and hang out with some people and play some other games now. Good night, everyone.